I loved being educated on the knowledge that I hadn't even know what the word fascia was back then. In fact, they really feel like science missed naming it as an organ.
Interesting. So for those of us who aren't too like on the ball with like fascia, so what exactly is fascia? And yeah, why was it missed? How was it?
That's a good question. What fascia is, just in layman's terms, it's really a networking that goes throughout our entire body. It goes around every cell, every bone, tendon, muscle. It goes around every brain cell. So it likes to be very hydrated. And when it's not, it can get very, very sticky. Will refer to when they describe fascia, either like the orange, and you've got the outside part of the orange, then you've got that yellow or that creamy pith, and then you've got each membrane around each juicy part. That's a good description. Otherwise, if you have ever cut up a chicken to cook it and you pull that skin up, there's that really see-through membrane that's in there that's sticky, and you can see fascia at its finest with that.
Okay. So you were saying that it's really important to hydrate fascia or keep fascia hydrated. Like, how do we hydrate fascia?
Well, just staying moisturized in lots of different ways, making sure that you're getting a lot of water in, but also moving the tissue so that that fluid can get through those areas. Because if your fascia is loose and moving like this, right, it's going to allow things to flow through it. But if it's tight and twisted and bound a little bit more, it's not going to flow through that area very well. And that's the type of work that I do, is I help to break that up, to identify the different types of fascia for people. And then, you know, everybody's a little bit different. Some people are more adhesed or bound, or their fascia is distorted. And maybe some people are more athletic than others, and they want to add to their level of performance. So they're probably keyed in on their stretching already and their movement in their bodies. But some of the things that we do are so repetitive, just like my work. If you're always doing those same things, you're not moving the fascia in the opposite directions that it might need as well. So I teach people and help them to learn how to move, to do things on a daily basis at home. I believe working your fascia on a daily basis, not necessarily the whole body. Tell people, you know, work one area of your body at a time, because it's a process. It takes some time, but a small habit, you know, just like the Kaizen that we do with our clubs, adding a little bit of another good habit each day will help in the long run. And after a year's time, you have added so much more good to your life, and you're just going to be moving better when you're doing that with your fascia as well.
Okay. So that's really interesting. There was a lot in there that I'd love to unpack. So say, like before, we were talking about, like, you know, the friend or someone, you know, that has the frozen shoulder, or like you with your hip. You said like you went for an initial treatment, and that then you could sleep through the night. Like for the first time, you didn't have pain. So if someone has an issue, is it important to like find a fascia therapist and go have a treatment? Or is it good enough to like do, I don't know, an online course or get tips and work the body a few minutes here and there? Like what is the protocol that goes actually with maybe healing, like we were saying, a shoulder injury or a hip problem?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I find it's really hard to map your own fascia. There are certain things you can do. There's different tests that you can do. You can poke the fascia. You can pull the skin up to see how it's moving in certain areas. You can do some stretches and videotape yourself and see how far you can do these certain specific stretches, as long as you know what they are. And let's see, poke, pinch. I can get you that list of the different things, the 5 different things that you can check. But by doing that yourself, sometimes it's it's really good to go to a specialist, somebody who knows how to map your fascia, and have them map it for you, because really, can we see behind us? We
Yeah.
can see what's happening on the front, but when I am working with somebody, I think the body is so intelligent. It shows me, and I can see where, not only visibly, I mean, that's another one of the perception is another one of those P's, and I can visibly see it, but I will have people, I'll videotape them walking towards me and away from me before their session, and then again after their session. And it's amazing the difference in how they can move. Many people are like, I feel so light, or I feel like I'm floating now. It just releases so much. There's a lot of emotions that are held in the fascia too. And sometimes it takes somebody else to help you with that.
For sure. So what does like a session with Kelly look like? So if I were to come to you, what is that going to look like treatment wise?